He was the most electric player in college football, a Sugar Bowl MVP, a Heisman lock, a national champion. But one mistake inside a Dillard's department store turned him from legend to cautionary tale overnight. The fallout was instant. His Heisman, gone. His future, in doubt. But before the scandal, before the fall, there was a kid from Bradenton, Florida, rewriting what it meant to be a high school legend. In Bradenton, Florida, high school football didn't just fill stadiums. It defined pride, identity, and weekends. And nobody embodied that more than Peter Warrick. At Southeast High, Warrick wasn't just another star athlete. He was the event. Football, basketball, track. If Peter was playing, the town showed up. Before he ever wore a college jersey, he was already a local myth. On the football field, he did everything. As a junior, he dominated as a wide receiver. By senior year, he took over at quarterback, running, throwing, scoring at will. Back-to-back state championships, built on clutch plays and highlight moments only he could deliver. And that was just football. Warrick was named Florida's Player of the Year in basketball. He long jumped 7.25 meters, ran a 10.59 in the 100. Every coach in the state asked the same question: how do you stop Peter Warrick? Most never found an answer. There was one play, though, that defined him. A rivalry game against Manatee High. Tie game, a minute left. Warrick fields a punt, dances through defenders, takes it 60 yards to the house. Over 10,000 fans losing their minds. That play didn't just win the game. It became a story Bradenton still tells today. Even his rivals gave him his flowers. The one guy you never wanted to see with the ball. A special player who could flip a game in one play. By the end of his senior year, he was the top-ranked receiver in the country. Every powerhouse program in America wanted him. When he chose Florida State, it wasn't just a commitment. It felt like destiny. Peter Warrick wasn't just ready for college football's biggest stage, he was built for it. Florida State had seen stars, but Peter Warrick was something else. After redshirting in '95, he stepped on the field in '96 and changed the energy. You couldn't scheme him out, you couldn't catch him clean, and once the ball was in his hands, defenders looked like they were chasing smoke. In 1997, the nation took notice. 372 all-purpose yards versus Clemson, 3 touchdowns, a 90-yard punt return. That wasn't just a breakout. It was a declaration. He wasn't a receiver. He was a problem. By 1998, Florida State didn't just feature Warrick. They depended on him. 1,200-plus yards, 12 touchdowns. Consensus All-American. But the stats never told the whole story. Every time he touched the ball, stadiums held their breath. Heading into 1999, it felt like destiny. Warrick returned as the face of college football. Florida State was number 1. He was the Heisman frontrunner. And for a moment, it was perfect. In the 2000 Sugar Bowl, the national championship game, Warrick delivered a performance for the ages. 163 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, a 59-yard punt return. When FSU needed a play, he made it. When the moment got bigger, so did he. He didn't just win a title. He redeemed everything the Heisman voters took from him. But just months earlier, everything had changed. September 1999, a Dillard's department store. $400 worth of clothes, $21.40 paid. A complicit clerk, a bad decision, a Heisman dream, gone. 2-game suspension. National headlines. No more New York. No more ceremony. He didn't lose the Heisman on the field. He lost it in a fitting room. And the noise never stopped. As the draft approached, Warrick was still elite on paper. But now, he came with baggage. Could he handle the pressure? Was he worth the risk? The league would soon find out, and so would Peter Warrick. By the time Peter Warrick reached the 2000 NFL Draft, his highlight reel still spoke for itself. Electric cuts, punt return chaos, big game moments. But the narrative had changed. Teams weren't just scouting talent. They were weighing perception. The Bengals didn't blink. Coming off a 4-12 season, They made Warrick the 4th overall pick, hoping he'd be the face of their rebuild. He was brought in to be a savior, but what he walked into was a mess. Quarterback instability, coaching turnover, an offense with no identity. Warrick wasn't just adjusting to the speed of the league, he was doing it while expected to carry a broken franchise, and the numbers showed it. In his first 2 seasons, he was targeted 263 times, but averaged just 4.79 yards per target, dead last among high-usage receivers. The flashes were there, a big return, a slippery catch in traffic, but nothing stuck. The system didn't elevate him, and he wasn't in position to elevate the system. Meanwhile, Cincinnati found new toys: Chad Johnson, TJ Houshmandzadeh. The offense shifted. Warrick's role shrank. He wasn't a true deep threat. He wasn't a physical possession receiver. What he was, a dynamic hybrid, deadly in space, wasn't something NFL offenses knew how to use yet. Today, he'd be schemed like Tyreek, Debo, or Waddle. Back then, they tried to make him a traditional receiver number 1. It didn't work, and it became easier, year by year, for fans, media, and coaches to forget what made Peter Warrick special in the first place. But the fire wasn't gone. Not yet. In 2003, he reminded everyone who he was. The 2003 season proved Peter Warrick still had it. 79 catches, 819 yards, 7 touchdowns. For the first time in his pro career, the system clicked. Warrick became John Kitna's top target and the centerpiece of a Bengals offense that finally looked dangerous. And then came Kansas City, an undefeated opponent, in the national spotlight. Warrick torched them, a punt return touchdown, a receiving score. Every time he touched the ball, it felt like FSU all over again, sudden, electric, inevitable. For a brief, brilliant moment, he was the player everyone thought he'd be. And then, just as quickly, it was gone. Early in 2004, Warrick fractured his shin. For a player who lived on cuts, bursts, and sudden movement, it was a death sentence. He missed most of the year. When he came back, the burst wasn't there, and the Bengals, they'd moved on. Chad Johnson had become the star. TJ Houshmandzadeh was rising. By training camp in 2005, Warrick was cut. He landed in Seattle, hoping to reignite his career. He played a small role, punt returns, occasional snaps, during the Seahawks' run to Super Bowl 40, but his impact had faded. After the 2006 preseason, he was released. Just like that, the NFL was done with Peter Warrick. In 6 seasons, he totaled 275 receptions, 2,991 yards, and 18 touchdowns, plus 2 return scores. His 2003 breakout remained a tease, proof of what he could be, but never a full transformation. The reasons: injuries, misused potential, a franchise in chaos, and a league that still hadn't figured out how to unlock a player like him. But Warrick's love for football never faded. In 2009, he returned to the field with the Bloomington Extreme in the Arena League. 606 yards, 13 touchdowns. No spotlight, no pressure, just the game. A return to the freedom and joy that had once made him unstoppable. The NFL chapter was closed, but Peter Warrick's story wasn't. After football, Peter Warrick didn't chase the spotlight. He gave it away. In 2010, he returned to Florida State, not as a star, but as a mentor. He coached receivers, shared lessons, gave perspective that only someone who'd lived the full ride could offer. Off the field, he leaned into purpose, mentoring kids, uplifting children with special needs, speaking in schools. The same instincts that once broke open games now helped build lives, focused on discipline, resilience, and belief. And over time, the story shifted. Not from scandal to redemption, but from misunderstood to remembered. That same year, Warrick was inducted into the Florida State Hall of Fame. In 2018, they retired his number 9 jersey. Because at FSU, he never stopped being a legend. Not for the NFL he never dominated, but for the Saturdays where he was unforgettable.